Okay, so we're still reading the book, and what's really cool about this page, um, and I guess we could kind of go back to the first page or first couple of pages, is you kind of have the medieval type weapons all here. And then I guess, you read all the history that's in all these pages, and you get to now the future. And this is more closer to stuff from the 80s line, sort of, and then the Rise of Cobra universe. And again, video responses or comments are one reason why I'm reading all this. So you have the Cobra gunship right here, and then I'm still reading the descriptions, but I just wanted to point these off real quick. Then you have, I believe it was called the Dragon Hawk or Dragon something. Yeah, so I know what this is called, but I can't think of it right now. But this is the Sigma 6 dropship that came out for the little 2 to 3 inch figures. So that's what that is. This right here, these all look like the same type of gun. I don't know that they really exist. In any universe. So if anybody knows that, that would be great to know. This one, I can't really tell if this is supposed to be a Cobra vehicle or maybe this, as well as this one up here, is maybe more of the Sigma 6 3, 2 point. I think they were like 2.5 inches, 2.5 inch figures. So maybe that's where these come from. But I also kind of look at these as kind of looks like the new Vamp that's supposed to be coming out for the Pursuit of Cobra line. So that's kind of what that makes me think of. But they're probably either non-existent toys or vehicles, or more closely supposed to be the Sigma 6 stuff, since you already have that drop ship there. Then this also came out for the Sigma 6 2.5 inch figures, but it was also a direct-to-consumer vehicle, and I can't think of the name right now, but I'm sure you guys know, and if not, I will put it in the description as well. So that's kind of cool. They don't just stick with medieval stuff. They went to the kind of the future as well. So we were, I believe, on James McCullen the 15th, and it says he sold the same rifle designs to both sides in the American Revolution, shipping supplies to American troops on British ships. Then it says, trying to make sure I'm reading them in order, James McCullen the 16th followed Napoleon on campaign, sending back weapon designs, refinements, and contracts through electrochemical telegraph. So that's cool. James McCullen the 17th, the only McCullen to run the family business twice. That's interesting, I think. Retiring in 1841 due to illness, and returning in 1846 after the death of James XVIII. So let's go on and find out what happened to James McCullen the 18th. He died in a plane crash outside Palo Alto while selling weapons to warlords throughout the American West. So again, that makes me say, when did we first take flight with the, gosh, I can't even think of the brothers, but the R.O.C.C, I want to think? Man, didn't realize reading all this stuff was going to get me in so much trouble. So anyway, James McCullen the 19th. To test his new rocket designs, he sold them to both sides in the American Civil War. Introduced Gatling guns to modern warfare, offering special prices for multiple orders. And again, I find that so interesting that they're sticking with the theme that all the things that we have, or quite a bit of them, in our universe is all due to these McCullens these bad guys that were still, for whatever reason, able to sell things to both sides of the war, but definitely interesting and evil and corrupt and all that kind of stuff for them to do that, making money off of war. It's like, wow. But anyway, James McCullen the 20th, it says he financed Nikolai, I believe, Tesla's death ray experiments outside of Tunguska, Russia. And again, I'm probably mispronouncing that one. It says he deployed a Tesla-designed device into orbit in 1913 for his personal use. And again, I wish I knew all this stuff because I'm like, this seems a little too early to be doing this stuff, but obviously I don't know my American history or even my fake, American history, since I know this is not real. But anyway, James McCullen the 21st. He introduced armored tanks in 1915 and anti-tank rifles in 1917. Created and tested low-orbit capable fighter bombers and troop transports. So 1893 they were already doing that. And then we go into James McCullen the 22nd. Designed a system to disable V-2 rockets and fly over the English Channel. Designed ICBMs and missile defensive systems to be sold to competing countries. And then we're on to James McCullen the 23rd, and you get bought massive stocks of war surplus equipment to resell to developing nations, utilized connections in Sierra Gordo to test new equipment in jungle conditions. And the one that's kind of interesting with this is James McCullen the 23rd, the way that they're describing him at least, is that this is the one that we would have known in the 80s. So again, very interesting how they talk about a figure that exists and yet technically in the universe of Rise of Cobra doesn't exist. Because this is the Destro that exists in Rise of Cobra that technically is the Destro that the 23rd technically it would be, if that makes any sense. So anyway, we have James McCullen the 24th, 1973 to the present. Wow, so he's a little older than me. So it says designed and implemented projected force handheld weaponry, advanced body armor, troop conditioning procedures. I wonder what that is. And developed advanced nanomite technology. Could those be connected somehow? So anyway, so hopefully that wasn't too painful. And if it was, and you did not listen to any of that, well, cool. Because now we will definitely start getting into the inside of this. So when you open it up, you would originally have the figures in there, and you have these little buttons or holes down here, and you just push them through to help you slide out the little boxes here. Obviously I have them probably mistaked or opposite or whatever, but they're held in originally with these elastic bands, but I had a hard time, I don't know about everybody else, but I had a hard time taking these out without bending the card. So unless you really are going to open the packaging or want to read the back or anything or are really careful, just be forewarned that you won't have a mint card unless you're really, better, got better opening packaging skills than I do, because no matter how I tried to get them out, they got bent. So anyway, we will go on to the next part of it, but hopefully the words will be a little bit easier to read. Alright, so we'll see you over there. Thanks. Bye.